So we put together our firewood hutch. Now what we need to do is produce some workshop drawings that can be used to assemble our project. So what we need to do is come down here to this big tick, and then we want to go to create drawing. Now what we want to use is iOS A3. Now if these aren't showing up for you, you need to go to this button down the bottom here that says show OnShape drawing templates. We want to come up here to the top and hit this ISO. And we want to go to A3. We click OK. Now, this is in first angle projection, which is not the one we use in Australia. Because we're Australian, we use half the American and half the European versions of drawing conventions. So what we need to do is come over here to this little spanner symbol, which says drawing properties. Come up the top here, it says views. And on this first drop down menu, where it says first angle, I want you to change it to third angle. And that's it. So what we're going to do is come here to insert. Hit this insert again, go to assemblies, and we want assembly 1. And we want to have an isometric version. So we come down to this view orientation and use isometric. And we want to make this fairly big. So that's 1:4, the ratio. And we just put it in there like that. Now what we want is a BOM table. So we're going to come up here and click on the BOM. And then we're going to put it right here in the corner. And that's going to generate our cutting list. And what we want to do now is just adjust this so that everything sort of sits in there nicely. What we want to do on this one is we want to go around using this tool here, which is the call out button. And we want to name all the parts just once though. So we click on it and then we click out again. We have this little bubble that comes out. So we want to go around and do that for every one of them. Now we need to put these in logical places. And we don't want to have anything crossing over. So if I put this down here, that'd be bad. We want it to come up here and have it in line with the other ones. See how that's not going to give us a very good looking arrow? We're not going to be able to see what we're pointing at. So I'm going to need to choose a different spot. Okay, that's all the parts that we can see on this now. Right, we do have another part that's hidden in there, so we only have eight bubbles, but every other part's been accounted for. So that's our first page. We want to come down here, and we're going to name it Firewood Hutch. Come down a line. And we're going to put in Gundagai High School. This is drawing number 1. Version number 1. Okay. So over here on the left hand side, there's a thing that says sheets. And we want to add a new sheet. We're going to close that menu back up again. Okay, so what we need here is a view without the tray in it. So what we're going to need to do is come over here, back to assembly 1. We're going to select everything. We're going to copy it. We're going to make a new assembly. We're going to have a third assembly now. We're going to paste it there. And then we're going to select the kindling tray and delete it. This way we're able to see these internal parts down here. It's not covered by the kindling tray. So we're going to go back to drawing 1. Insert again. On this thing here it says insert. Click that. Go to assemblies. And we want assembly 3. We're going to have it at 1 to 6. Put it down in the corner like that. And it automatically picks up our projection tool. So depending on how we drag this out from here, gives us our different views. So we're going to have the top view. Click on it again. Pull out. Side view. Click. And we're going to have our isometric view up there. And what we're going to do now is we're going to add in our dimensions. We need to have that out like this. We're going to add in a dimension there. These dimensions. And when we're dimensioning, we want to try and keep stuff in line and also put it in the middle. So we don't want to go ballistic with all our dimensioning. We want to have the minimum amount on here so that we're able to just look at a nice, simple, clean drawing. Now, as you can see here, this is 400 across here, which means across the top here, we know it's 400 because these are in line and all these things have been projected out. Coming across this way, we know that this is 600 tall, and this one here is also 600 tall because this is all projected in line with itself. Which means we don't need to have the 600 dimension line over here as well. So we're going to call this the orthogonal view. Now I'm zooming in here so that you can actually have a look at how this is actually spelt, because it's a very strange looking word. Now we're going to come over here back to sheets, and we're going to put in a new sheet. And here we want to insert the development for the kindling tray. So we go to insert again, then over here to this flat pack symbol, and we want to have the flat pattern of the kindling tray. Now, this is taking up a lot of space. So what we want to do is right click on it. We're going to go to view properties, and we're going to go to rotation, and we're going to put in 90 degrees, and it's going to turn on its side like that, and it's going to take up less space on our paper. Now, as you can see here, the program's already put in some directions on how to actually bend this together. So we're going to right click on this and hit hide bend notes, because we're all going to remember how this actually bends together. We're going to go up here to dimensions, and we're just going to go around and we're going to dimension this up. Now you'll see here that these measurements aren't the same as the ones that we put in, because this program does a little bit of fancy maths and adds little bits and pieces to it. So we're just going to have to change this back to actual measurements that we're able to recreate in the workshop. So we're never going to be able to measure 299.54 millimeters in the workshop. So what we want to do is just set that to 0, and it's going to come back to 300. The other way you can do it is double click on it and just type it in. So we're going to go around here and we're going to dimension all the relevant parts. So what you want to have is all your dimensions looking just like I have them here. So what I want you to do is pause the video and make sure that all of your dimensions look the same as mine. What we're going to do now is we're going to use this line tool, and we're going to draw a line straight down our page like this to divide our page into 2 parts. This just makes it a little bit easier to have one thing on this side and another thing on this side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to insert assembly, and we're going to assembly 2. And we're going to want to have it exploded. So down here where it says explode position, you want to hit that drop down menu and hit explode. We're going to want to change this. So we're going to have an isometric version of our exploded drawing that we put in before at 1.8 ratio. We're going to use the call out button, and we're going to go and we're going to call out that piece, and that piece. So we're going to insert, we're going to put in the post insert. We're going to make it nice and big. We're going to put it 1 to 1. So this is going to be the actual size when we print it out. So what we want to have is a face and the front like this. Once you let go of your tool, you can right click on this, and what we want to do is show hidden lines. And then we're going to come up here to the center mark one and put a center mark just there. In that circle, so there's a little cross there. And then we're going to use this 2-point center line. We're going to get the center of this. And the center of that. So we're going to end up with our parts looking like this. We want to go to the dimension tool. 30 there. And then this here. Then we want to go to this tool here. It says note. We click on the edge of the circle and drag it out like that. That gives us a little corner and a thing going to it. What we're going to put here is M10 times 1.5. That is a M10 thread, which means metric 10 mil with a pitch of 1.5 mil. What that means is when we actually drill out this hole, we're going to want to have it to cut it at 1.5 mil smaller than the 10 mil. So you would be drilling this out with a 8.5 mil drill bit. So we're going to come over here to insert. We're going to insert the knob this time. It's also going to be 1 to 1, and we're going to want to have it. We're going to want to have it sitting up there like that. So we need to just fiddle around with the view orientation one and the rotation angle just to get it sitting up properly. So we're going to put another note down here. And we're again going to say M10 times 1.5. And then we're going to add in our dimensions on this. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to use the call out thing again. And we're just going to identify these so we know what we're talking about down here and what these even are. Okay, so we're going to name this. We're going to call it part details. Okay, and that's the end of our drawing that we need to do. So, to get this out and make it printable or so you can hand it in, we want to come over here to these 3 lines. We want to come down here to print, and that's going to spit out a PDF. So either it's going to end up down here and download automatically, or you're going to have to come over here and hit this download symbol. And you save that wherever it is you download things. And then you have this file. So we have this file that has our drawings that we just made, and we're able to print or upload these wherever we need it to go. All right, and finished all that, you've finished your drawing of the firewood hutch. Congratulations.
Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
All right, you're great zombie. And good times here at the Waterfront Village, open for the next 11 days.